for machines, otherwise known as energy markets, are a critical arena for pro-youth economists. But next we'd wonder about fuels for people. We'll be inviting you to map value chains of food and water. As we race into the second decade of the 21st century, it may just be that the greatest game changer for sustaining our human race will come from considering nutrition as an educational literacy. Will you use your social media to join us in the plea to prioritise the whole truth of nutrition as a curriculum freed by online education? Can you help us urgently reach out to such pioneers as Khan Academy in San Francisco and the Open Education alumni webs of Massachusetts Institute of Technology? To help you decide, here's a question. Let me read out a call for collaboration to end hunger that shakes me, and then ask you, what was the nationality and turning point in history of its scriptwriter? Personal experience has shown us in the manufacturing districts that when people are depressed with want and hunger and agonized by the suffering of helpless and starving children, no acts of Parliament are of the slightest avail. We trust our social actions will be useful to the country. We have no party, nor class interest, nor motives. We are of no class, or rather of every class. We are the landowning class, we are the commercial class, interested in our foreign trade and in our manufactures. But our opinions are that no one part of these can have any lasting and true success that is not associated and coexisting with the prosperity of all. Looking around us, we see ignorance, depravity, immorality, irreligion abounding to an extent disgraceful to a civilized country. We cannot see how to successfully treat this great national disease while want and pauperism abound. We cannot hope to improve the mental and moral condition of a people while their physical state is so deplorable. We look far beyond the power of acts of Parliament, or even of the efforts of the philanthropist or the charitable, however praiseworthy, to effect a cure for this great national leprosy. We look to an improvement in the condition of the people. We hope to see the day when it will be impossible to understand acts of Parliament could be made to restrict the food and the employment of the people. So here's the quiz. I'll give you 4 choices. Was what I've just read out written by 1. An Irishman during the potato famine of the mid-19th century. 2. A Bangladeshi during the famine after national independence near the end of the third quarter of the 20th century. 3. Gandhi while organising peace and hunger marches in India after World War I. 4. Someone else. Well, it might have been written by anyone who believed that you had no right to call yourself an economist and certainly no right to be a banker unless you were passionate about mediating an end to hunger. It was actually written by a Scot 170 years ago this year. James Wilson had come down to London and become a member of Parliament with the deliberate aim to sack more than half of those powering over politics. James believed he would need some pro-youth media to help him do this. So the statement I read out to you was actually from the prospectus founding The Economist, which was James's tool for this purpose. James succeeded in his first goal of repealing the Corn Laws. Unfortunately, he became a darling of Queen Victoria and was asked by her to go to India and form a bank in Calcutta to end hunger. 9 months into the project, James died of diarrhea. It was left to James's son-in-law, Walter Bagehot, second editor of The Economist, to continue to help Queen Victoria to transform from ruling over slave-making and empire to becoming epicenter of commonwealth. 110 years after James' death, we will see that the new nation of Bangladesh celebrated independence. In our next session, we will see that one of the essential skills of the Grameen branch manager is oral rehydration, because that enables them to help mothers to save up to 1/5 of infants who would otherwise die of diarrhea. We will see that that is just the start of a curriculum of nutrition that Grameen and other Bangladeshi microbankers could now be sharing with the world.